Settle on the right tackle starter.
Yeah, I think Coach, we're in the middle of finalizing all the depth chart stuff, and I think pretty soon this week, Coach will release that when he's ready. But yeah, we feel good about where we're at with everything.
Just talk about preparation for you. How's everything going so far?
So today's Sunday. It's game week. I think everybody's excited. It's finally game week. You always get to the point ready to play someone else. But at the same time, as many young guys as we're playing, as many new guys as we're playing for the first time, from a coaching standpoint, I'm glad for every second we have between now and then to keep trying to make sure we're covering everything and repping everything as much as we can so they're prepared.
Anything you can tell us specifically, Coach, about you noticed about Washington State's defense?
Yeah, first of all, I've said it before, I think they got 9 out of 11 starters returning. So anytime you got that many guys coming back in a program that's going to be in their second year, they're going to be much better the second time around in the system. I think they got some really good guys up front on the defensive line. They got 3 or 4 guys with good size that could present some problems. They're very multiple in their scheme. I mean, they mix it up pretty good, so they give you a bunch of different looks. And I think they've got, like I said, out of those 9 out of guys that are returning, there's a lot of older guys too. So it's not only that they're second year in the scheme, but they played some ball. So it won't be their first time around the block when they come in here Saturday.
Have you ever studied at all Leach's offense?
Not in great detail. I mean, I'm familiar with it. There's a bunch of other teams that kind of run similar styles. So, little things here and there, but I'm not extremely well versed in it. So I couldn't tell you a whole lot about it.
Rhett, how many receivers do you feel good about playing?
We've probably got, I would think, 6 to 8 that'll kind of be in the 2 deep rotation. And, I feel like they're getting better each week. And there's some of the older guys I've said before, Quan and Jalen Denson, and some of those guys have really come on and been steady. And hopefully, those younger guys will just keep coming. But, we'll probably have 6 to 8 guys that'll be rotating, and that's who's been repping. So.
Now that it's game week, are there any true freshmen that you can say with certainty that are going to play in Washington State?
Yeah, at this point, I think Marcus Davis has been someone who keeps showing up, and so he's kind of put himself in the mix for some playing time. And there's some of those guys that are on, playing time on teams as well. And but he's the one that keeps standing out the most, probably. Coaches that, hey, you're the guy, kind of, I think, releases you sometimes to step up and lead a little more than you even were before when you're competing with other guys. So I think he's tried to be vocal and tried to lead the guys. And, the thing for him is, the bottom line, he's only had 3.5 weeks or so with us. We didn't have him in spring, so you're talking about just weeks in the system. And so now you're asking him to go out and run it in a real game. And so he needs every rep, every second he can get. Repetition-wise, to feel very, very comfortable. And I think the more he does it, not only practice by practice, but game by game, I think he'll get better because I think he'll get more comfortable with what he's doing.
What percentage of your package would you feel comfortable calling right now with him?
I hate to put a percentage on it. I mean, with what we've got in that we're repping over the last probably week, I feel pretty good that with what we're carrying, he'll feel good about. I think that with a guy like him, it'd be crazy to put the whole thing in day one. We didn't even do that with Cam or really even last year at Arkansas State with Ryan Applin, who was a veteran guy. And, as the season went on, we started giving more and more freedoms and asking him to do more. The more he got comfortable with the system, it'll be no different with Nick. We'll take what we feel like we need to win the ball game and that we feel like he can execute.
What did Marcus Davis do in practice that really just kind of stood out to you to give him a chance here to play right away?
He just does all the little things. First of all, I think playing quarterback probably helped him because he came in and, you could tell he wasn't in awe of the moment of, hey, I'm in college and these guys are bigger and faster. And so he's been steady. I'm not going to say he's made a lot of wow plays, although he's made a few, but he's just been steady. And he's worked hard. He's listened. He's tried to do everything the coaches say. All the little things we ask our guys to do, he does. And, the bottom line is they just keep showing up. The guys that just keep showing up practice after practice, whether it's little things or big things, are the ones that stand out. And when you're a freshman, you kind of have to do that, to stand out, and he's done that steadily through camp.
Is Ricardo a guy that's continued to be kind of the wow guy from what we were hearing early in camp?
He has potential to be. He's one of those guys that could be very special. Still young. I mean, this is going to be his second true year to be here and to be playing, and he didn't play a whole lot last year, I don't think. So, but he has a lot of ability, and there are times that he makes some plays, and you just go, wow, there's no doubt. So we'd like him to do that consistently.
How's Avery kind of fitting in to the offense?
Avery's done really well. I think Coach Grimes has done a good job with that group up front. of kind of bringing him along, and we've mixed and matched a lot. We're kind of starting to settle things down as we get into game week, and he's a real versatile guy for us. But you can tell, being healthy, he didn't really get to do spring either. So you can tell he's really starting to pick it up even more now as opposed to even the beginning of camp, because he didn't have spring like those other guys.
He's an athletic guy, really good at, if you put him at guard, he can pull real well.
He's an athletic guy at guard. He can really pull. At tackle, he's very athletic, really good in the run game. Shoot, he hadn't done it yet, but he'd probably be a really good center. I mean, he's just a real versatile athletic guy.
Is he spending most of his time at tackle now or guard?
He's done both. He's gone back and forth. It was tackle early, then it was guard, and then lately he's been kind of doing some of both. But we've had him at tackle probably the last week or so.
How do you feel about your offense right now, just overall?
I would like us to be more consistent day in and day out. I still think we're going up more than down as a whole, but you still have those days where you feel like you're starting to get it, and then you come out and you just maybe the focus isn't there. And I think that's part of with a young team and what we're trying to accomplish. That, not only physically, I think, but mentally, we got to get those guys to buy into every day coming to work and getting better and having that winning attitude, winning mentality. And they're going in the right direction. I just would like to see it every day, like every other coach would. I feel like up front, we'll have a chance to be pretty good, and we've got some good backs. And, we got a lot of young guys at the skill spots that we feel good about. It's just going to be a matter of how quick they come on and pick it up and start making plays.
Who's the first running back you put out there?
Coach Horton's done a really good job mixing those guys up. We feel really good about Trey and Cam. And, at this point, it wouldn't matter to me which one's in there.
Does a lot of it depend on package?
It could depend on the package and play. We do so much formationally, sometimes it doesn't matter. It could be game 8, your starter doesn't start the first play, and it may have nothing to do with anything other than what you run in the first play. But I feel good about both those guys, as does, I believe, Coach Horton. So.
What do you see Corey Grant's role being?
Corey, Corey's got a real role for us. He's a guy that you can move around. He can definitely play true running back as well. And, just because maybe those other two guys are a little bit ahead of him in terms of pure running back doesn't mean that he won't be in the mix. He's very fast, a guy you want to get the ball in space to. He could do a lot of the things, similar role to a McCaleb type kid. And so he's been someone that from spring even now we're really pleased with.
With the freshman running back?
Peyton
Barber.
Peyton Barber.
Yeah, with Rudy going over to defense, Peyton. Peyton's one that we really enjoyed watching run in all the scrimmages. He's a good football player. I mean, physically he's ready, and he made some nice runs. It's just you want to give those guys reps. I mean, you even look at guys that we've had in the past that were young running backs. We brought them along slowly. So right now we got 3 older guys that we feel like are ahead of him. But more just because they're juniors and he's a freshman. But he's got to get ready. He'll be in the mix, and injuries happen and things like that. He'll have to be ready to go if that happens.
What are your Melvin Ray, a guy that could get in playing rotation?
Melvin's a guy who could see some time, and he's played a couple different positions. And I think for Melvin to help us, he's got to be that guy who can kind of mix and match and bounce around some, be in certain packages. And he's had some bright spots though this camp.
What are your expectations for Nick in his first start here?
My expectations will be for him to go out and be confident and be confident he knows what to do and what we're carrying. Lead his football team, protect the football. That's all I want him to do. I think after that, everything else will take care of itself. But I want him to have confidence. I want him to lead the guys and most importantly, protect the ball. We can't beat ourselves.
You guys have the confidence in him right now to throw some vertical at him right now? Throw some.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're going to play to his strengths. He throws the ball down the field very well. He can throw it deep. He can throw vertical balls very well. And so, like I said, at this point, it's not physical for guys. A lot of the guys, especially guys like him, it's more about, just in the limited time and what we're doing, go out and just play within the system. Do what we ask you to do. Don't try to make things out of nothing. Don't try to do more and play outside of yourself. Just trust your abilities, play within the system, trust that, and the plays will come.
You mentioned he throws a deep ball well. For those who have never seen Nick play, what are they going to see Saturday? What are his things he does well?
Well, I can't give you everything.
Right.
We gotta, but that's something everybody hopefully will see on Saturday. I hope they do.
You got 2 other freshman wide receivers. Are these guys that are going to play or redshirt or still up in the air?
Tony's been hampered throughout camp with a nagging deal, nothing major. I think we're starting to get him back full speed, so we'll probably know in the next couple of weeks where he'll be at. We still feel really good about his abilities, and he's just now getting back full time. So it's probably too early to call on him. Dominique's done a really good job for us. He's as hard a worker as anybody we got. He's a guy that at this point I really don't know for sure, but I could see him maybe taking a year to just kind of acclimate a little more. But we still feel really good about him physically too, and you never know what could happen.